Hello and welcome to News Hour. I am Ibrahim Samura. Coming up in this edition of News Hour, we look at the main points. President Julius Maada Bio calls on appointees to deliver on the promises of the New Direction agenda, vowing a Thanksgiving service at the King Memorial Methodist Church, Regent Road in Freetown. SLBC takes a look at the life of people with albinism in Sierra Leone. Banma Memorial Methodist Church celebrates 60th anniversary Thanksgiving service. And residents of Mora Town community raise concern over the poor condition of the main road in the community which links Aberdeen and Wilkinson Road. All these stories and more line up in this edition of News Hour. President Julius Maada Bio has called on appointees to deliver on the promises of the New Direction agenda. He made this call during a Thanksgiving service organized for new appointees of the Sierra Leone People's Party government. The special service was organized by the King Memorial Methodist Church, Regent Road in Freetown. The theme for the service is Be Thou an Example. Hawa Mosiri reports.
The Thanksgiving service organized by the King Memorial United Methodist Church at Regent Road in Freetown provided a forum where prayers were offered in appreciation to God for helping the president select people of the right caliber to serve the country in different capacities as part of the New Direction agenda. Most of the new presidential appointees were in full attendance, giving thanks and praises to God for his goodness. President of the Council of Churches, Sierra Leone, Bishop John Yambasu, congratulated the presidential appointees and called on them to serve the country diligently and let them bear in mind that they are working for the people of Sierra Leone. For those who are going to serve in other countries, he said, should always make sure that their country be on top of their agenda. Preacher Reverend James Boy Cocker, during his sermon, cited Timothy chapter 12, verse 6 as example of quality leadership. He explained to the congregation that in the said verse, Paul decided to address Timothy when the church was going through difficulties. The Reverend noted that leadership is not about being extinct, but of the character traits you exhibit, calling on the appointees to live by example and not to compromise their integrity. He commended President Bio for manifesting his determination to transform his campaign promises into concrete actions, citing the free education program as an important example.
Leadership is not about being enthusiastic. Leadership is about a lifestyle and a character display. That people will remember you not because of those things that were done, but because of the character traits that you exhibited. Paul told Timothy that the solution that I'm going to offer you is to be an example. Be an example. Do what you say.
President Julius Maada Bio commended the organizers for the service and prayed with the appointees in the Thanksgiving service. The president said he made pledges to the nation and that he has started turning promises into reality, making reference to the launching of the free education. He reminded the congregation that he has a responsibility to develop the nation and he is all determined to achieve his development goals in due course.
So for you, the appointees, and for all that you are doing, we have a momentous task ahead of us as a nation. I took the pledge to do a lot of things, and I did so audaciously. Again, men said it would be done. One was the free quality education. That I made a pledge to this nation because I know and I believe that the only way to help a nation is to educate that nation. And the best way to kill it is to kill education.
Some of the appointees, ambassadors, high commissioners will soon leave the shores of Sierra Leone to execute their duties in other countries. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosibe reporting.
A saving zone is drawn. To the sun we turn in turn. In fun we storm to run. A democracy won, a bad dream gone. What's your formula? Still celebrating yesterday was independence. No more slavery, no more chains. Today a double celebrant to represent. Bio Bio, now you.
People with albinism in some parts of Africa are hunted for their body parts. There is an African superstition that albinous people are not fully human. Many people believe that they are demons or ghosts, but in Sierra Leone they are faced with the problem of stigmatization. Tanzania is thought to have the largest population of albinos in Africa. For the black Africans, albinos' life is a living hell. Let us join Hawa Barry as she takes a look at the life of some people with albinism in Sierra Leone.
Life have been tough for these men and women. Growing up with albinism in Sierra Leone is challenging. It has not been easy for these people. Society continues to stigmatize and discriminate them. Family members even abandon them because of their condition. 43-year-old Mohamed Lamin Jallo, since birth, was rejected by his biological father because of his skin color. He says because of the provocation, he used to fight a lot in school. That was the beginning of his problems. When he was a petty trader, he would hardly make sales. People won't buy foodstuff from him. Now that he is a cattle trader, he has to sit from a distance and ask his fellow traders to sell for him. His wife was the first to abandon him when things became tough, followed by his teenage daughter, who didn't want people to know that he is her biological father.
So we don't mature now, we don't do SS1.
Now that she is matured and in senior secondary school, she walked up to me and told me she can't stand the provocation anymore. She would never tell people that I am her father. I pleaded with her, but I decided to end the relationship with her mom. I went to fetch her, but I was greeted with abusive words from her mom's parents.
23-year-old Kelvin Solomon Musa, a second-year computer hardware student at the Government Technical Institute, GTI, was abandoned by his mother at the age of 3 months. His paternal grandmother took him in. His mother only accepted him when she eventually gave birth to another albino. He has learned how to cope with the provocation.
Although the mocking the gun, but I still accept.
The provocation will always be there. I have learned to embrace my condition. If others can embrace themselves, why can't I? I embrace myself. When colleagues call me Kelvin Juice, I also call them Black. I am also a disc jockey, and my nickname is DJ Juice. I just smile and move on. Life must go on. It is what it is.
Sheku Kaba's story is quite different from the other two. He is the last born and was shown all the love and care he needed when growing up. This was because he was in the provincial towns. He says poor eyesight made learning very difficult for him. This is his third marriage. He says the stigmatization and provocation drove his first 2 wives away as a result of family pressure. Sheku has a complication which demands thousands of dollars for treatment.
In 2008, there came some visiting surgeons. They were white, and you know this white man complex. And so my guys said, oh, look, let them try to do this thing for you. They can fix it. So what happened? Unfortunately, I was convinced. So I went there. They tried to do that kind of surgery to remove that cut. Okay? But they did that. In 2008, the sore was not healing at all. It was not healing. Oh. 2008, 2009, things were just getting worse.
Despite his disability, he is the coordinator of the Islamic Development Mission Hospital.
Being an albino in this part of the world is quite challenging. Their greatest problem in this country is discrimination. They are also challenged with the problem of high cost of medical treatment for their condition.
Taking care of their skin and other related health issues is quite expensive for people living with albinism. Major Dr. Philippe Lema Gevao is a specialist in applied epidemiology. He highlights medical condition people with albinism suffer from and suggests regular treatment for them.
Albinism basically could affect the eyes, the hair, and the skin. So the complications for the eye are, number one, we have what we usually call nystagmus. Nystagmus is a condition in which you have rhythmic movement of your eyelids. It could be in the upward or downward direction. That is one. Secondly, they are also photophobic, in the sense they are intolerant to sunlight. So most of them, when they are exposed to direct rays of the sun, they will definitely, they are unable to tolerate that, like you and I.
Sheku Kaba is concerned about the rights of people living with disability. They are part of the organization Albino Savers Association, which is struggling with funds to champion the issues albinos are challenged with.
This idea of discrimination has been even within ourselves. The society has forced us to accept discrimination. You will see your albino, okay, your colleague albino, you know, the system will force you to deny him for who he is.
Hawa Barry reporting. Faithful God is a theme for this year's annual Tabora Thanksgiving service of the Church of the Lord of Aladura. Tabora is a 13-day period of prayer and fasting in the calendar of the mission worldwide. The church service saw worshippers in high praise. Princess Gibson reports.
Tabora, a period of prayers and fasting, is an important period in the Aladura mission. This can be traced to a revelation by the founder during a period of fasting that has been observed for decades. This event is regarded as a period of blessings, that supplications and prayer requests are answered due to high spiritual interface with God. Dilating on the theme Faithful God, Archbishop Emmanuel Tambakongo spoke about the blessings of the period and fasting.
We don't ask for all these certain blessings, but we can remember today, for God's mercy, for God's forgiveness, for God's blessing, for God's peace, for God's steadfastness, and so on and so on. Whatever you can ask, open up your heart and ask God now. For good children, ask God.
He called on members to be steadfast and committed to the things of God, as the worldly attractions are not permanent.
He's teaching us to serve Him. He's teaching us to obey Him. He's teaching us to commit ourselves unto Him. I remember the book of Joshua, the book of Joshua 24, verses number what? Number 15. It said Joshua, when he looked at the behaviors of all those people that he's carried, he became someone disgusted. And when he didn't feel, he said, look, today is today. You must declare who you will be committed to. He said, look, let me tell you something. I am tired and fed up. Today, you need to commit yourself and you need to prove yourself who you serve.
The chairman of Tabora committee, Kombayamba, thanked all for honoring their invitation and wished them well. A competition for fundraising formed part of the Thanksgiving service.
Residents of Mora Town community have raised concern over the poor condition of the main road in the community which links Aberdeen and Wilkinson Road. The road is riddled with many potholes and is causing slow vehicle movements. The Mora Town road serves as a bypass for commuters who use the Aberdeen, Wilkinson and Lumley roads. Sheila Reffel filed in these reports.
And it is well known for fishing and also its pristine sea views. Community people are not happy with the condition of the road. According to Catherine Savage, a resident in the community, the road was constructed after independence, but since then the road has not undergone any rehabilitation. She said few years ago the engineers from the Mora Town military barracks carried out maintenance on the road. In 2016, the SLRA and some Chinese engineers did a survey on the road, but work has not started. Mrs. Savage said at night it is difficult for drivers and passers-by. She expressed frustration that though the community hosts big businesses, including Million Tours, Cadco, Candle Factory, and Seabird Express, they have done nothing to change the condition of the road.
Up till now, they don't consider we small job.
Due to the bad road one night while coming from a friend's place, I fell down and hit my foot. And the road is very important because now the president uses it whenever he is going out of the country.
The road is small when they can come for travel.
A bike rider, Mohammed Bangura, called on the government to reconstruct the road for them as they transport pilgrims within Mora Town community.
There are lots of companies in the village, but they are not giving helping hand, and that should be one of their corporate social responsibilities. So we are pleading with the government to help us.
A driver, Sir Ndomaina, said because of the potholes, they have to visit the garage every day to repair their vehicles.
Due to the bad condition of the road, it causes logjam every day and driver consume a lot of fuel because of the long time they spend on the traffic. We are most time unable to make profits.
Sierra Leone is one of the countries in Africa that has contributed a contingent of police officers deployed in the war torn Somalia. The Sierra Leone Police is part of forces under the flag of the African Union Mission in Somalia, AMISOM. The country joined the mission in 2013, but later refrained from sending troops to Somalia following the Ebola outbreak. Earlier this year, Sierra Leone sent over 150 police officers to help restructure the Somali police forces. Our own Awabari was in Mogadishu.
It's 7:30 a.m. in Mogadishu, Somalia, and the police unit of AMISOM are getting ready for their daily routine in Mogadishu, where explosions are expected at every moment. Somalia, formerly known as the Somali Democratic Republic, is a country located in the Horn of Africa. It was an important center for commerce with the rest of the ancient world. The African Union Mission in Somalia, or AMISOM for short, is an active regional peacekeeping mission operated by the African Union with the approval of the United Nations. It is mandated to support the restructuring of governance institutions like the police force, the judiciary, and many more. The mission has helped draw a national security plan and has also trained the Somali security forces. Sierra Leone has had a long history of professional policing, where her police force had helped train other forces in the world, and its presence is felt in Somalia as one of the police forces working hard to bring peace to a country that has known war for decades now and help rebuild the Somalia police force. How are officers selected to join peacekeeping missions abroad?
There is a process. There is a process which they undergo from recruitment to final deployment to the missions. And for the IPOs, they are given exams by the African Union. Like the African Union, they conduct an assessment for mission service, wherein they send officers back home to conduct those exams. And after going through successfully the process, then they are ready for deployment.
Majority of the Sierra Leone contingent in Somalia is stationed in Kismayo in Jubaland in the south of Somalia. There are others who hold strategic positions in the mission in Somalia. Chief Superintendent of Police Lito Lamin is the deputy head of training at AMISOM.
We had our own war, and we learned a lot of lessons during our war. And during that period, UN went to Sierra Leone, and most of us were fortunate to be trained by them. So when we had the opportunity after the war, when we came here, so those expertise which we borrowed from UN during our own tenure, when we had a conflict in our country, we were able to impact it now here in Somalia, and the Somalis are benefiting, because we enrich them with knowledge and skills, that will make them, best police officers in their own making.
Some of the Sierra Leone individual police officers in Mogadishu performed extremely well that when their contract ended, the mission asked them to continue their service to the mission. Chief Superintendent Bakar S. Koroma is one of them. He is in the monitoring, evaluation and reporting unit of AMISOM. He works closely with Christine Alalo, acting AMISOM Police Commissioner. He suggests that with the experience gained in the mission, officers should be given the opportunity to pass on the knowledge gained during their peacekeeping operation.
You go out there and you are fortunate to learn something which you have not been doing back home. When you get back, it is but mandatory for the authorities to deploy you where you can perform those duties. Maybe you can perform them better.
Inspector Anne-Marie Kamara joined the AU mission in 2013. Because of the brilliant performance and excellent work, the mission extended her contract.
Back home, if you end your mission, you are not entitled to come till after 4 years. But because of my impact, what I created in the mission decided to request for me back. I deployed in January this year.
The adage that a prophet is respected unless in his village is an apt description of the Sierra Leone police in the country, though its personnel are respected in Somalia. But why is this case?
In your own country you have lots of people complaining about police activities. But then I believe that when these officers have served in missions and they come back, they improve on the conditions and behaviors of police officers back home. And I believe that we are still doing our best, but then we must have our detractors.
Sierra Leone is one of 3 police contributing countries providing a contingent of farm police unit to Somalia after Uganda and Nigeria. Apart from the FPUs, there are also individual police officers who mentor the Somali police forces. These are some of the Sierra Leone individual police officers who every day brought these members to Mogadishu to mentor the SPF. This is part of their daily routine here in Mogadishu. It's over 10 years since AMISOM deployed in Mogadishu. Reporting for SLBC, Hawabari, Mogadishu, Somalia.
You are watching Weekend News coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in Freetown. Partners of the Country Tree Foundation from Holland have commended the government for introducing the free quality education in Sierra Leone. They made this statement on a visit to the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Lawyer Alpha Timbo, at his ministry's conference room in Freetown. Aruna Patrick Kamara was there and now reports.
School feeding programs, providing training for teachers and school learning materials for pupils in the country. According to the Executive Director, Country Tree Foundation, John Cameron, as a non-governmental organization, they have been complementing government's effort in strengthening education in the country. They have been taking care of teachers in deprived communities, and they have built over 20 schools across the country from support from Holland World Servant, their partner.
As an organization supporting education in this country, we don't only construct schools, we also support the running of the schools. We do feeding programs, we provide school supplies for the children, and we also train the teachers so the pupils will have quality education. So we are here, sir, to see you at work and to congratulate you for the free education.
The team leader, World Servant from Holland, Kees Vaches, commended the government for introducing free education for Sierra Leoneans, and through the Country Tree Foundation, they will be supporting government in implementing the scheme. The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Alpha Timbo, said as a government they introduced the free education because it has huge benefits for the citizenry. Amidst the huge financial implications to the free education program, they will ensure that the program will succeed. They will be opening a bank account so that people all over the world will be donating.
But together with a basket, fund for education for development, right? This meeting we are about to convene is to come and formalize the bank accounts for that, where we'll be asking friends all over the world, including locals, to make their own modest contribution that they were formed in the education basket fund. What we are trying to do is to make sure that every contribution is recorded and the information published at the end of every month so that people know how we move forward.
The process for the opening of the bank account is presently on the pipeline, and information about the bank account will be communicated soon to members of the public.
The ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Ernest Numaina, has bid farewell to President Bill at State House to take up duty in his mission. Ambassador Numaina has expressed appreciation to the president for his appointment to represent Sierra Leone in China. Hawa Mosiri reports.
Ambassador Ernest Numaina expressed gratitude to President Julius Maada Bio for the confidence reposed in him to represent Sierra Leone in the People's Republic of China. He will make sure that the bilateral ties continue between the two countries.
On behalf of this family, I want to say I'm humbled and honored
trust and confidence invested upon me to go as an ambassador to the People's Republic of China. Your trust and confidence, I will not ever betray. I'm very honored, sir.
President Julius Maada Bio congratulated Ambassador Dumaina for accepting the position, as he has no doubt in him to represent Sierra Leone out there, calling on him to put the country first in whatever he does.
I know that you are up to the task ahead of you, but I just want you to know that I will give you all the support that you need and deserve to be able to perform your duty. Wish you well, success during your tenure, and of course you have the ministry as a point of contact, but don't hesitate to always contact me if you are in doubt, to have all the support you need.
In another development, the First Lady Fatima Bio presented contestants for this year's Miss Sierra Leone beauty pageant to President Bio at State House. The First Lady said the participants are representing the 16 districts in the country. She said that the beauty pageant is about showcasing the strength, beauty, and intelligence of the Sierra Leonean woman.
Whoever wins the Miss Sierra Leone from now onwards will not only be a beauty queen but a true ambassador for this country that will represent our country and promote our country and promote our country's tourism, which I know you have passion for, and my support to them is unlimited. I don't have all the resources to give them, I don't have everything, but what I have is the drive, and it's the will to find the president wherever the president is and make sure he listens to the Miss Sierra Leone and the Miss Sierra Leone organization. President Julius Maada Bio described the pageants as winners of their respective district, but it is going to be extremely difficult to choose among them because they are all beautiful. But at the end of the contest, there is going to be a choice who will represent Sierra Leone.
First, I want to wish you good luck. You are all winners already because you won in your various districts also. And now we can see the beauty of Sierra Leone. And for the technical staff who are going to be there, they are going to look at not only the external beauty, but also the internal beauty. How they are going to be able to see it, I don't know. But I think by listening to you and through interaction, they will be able to know that you are truly beautiful and you can be a good ambassador for this country.
Beauty Pageant Contest is an annual event that is organized by different organizations, including the private sector. But let us see who will be the winner of this year's contest. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Harmosri reporting.
The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Wori, has presented 16 air tickets to nurses that will be leaving Sierra Leone for China to study nursing. The presentation of air tickets took place at the Ministry's Conference Room U building. Famari Samura reports.
Okay. Bangura, Kamba can do well for us. Okay. Thank you. Kamara Francis, thanks a lot. Come on.
These are nurses who received their air tickets from the Minister of Health and Sanitation. They will be trained in maternal and child health education, immunization, and interpreting Chinese medical forms in the training course. Addressing the second batch of nurses going to China, the acting chief nursing medical officer, Haja Aminata Nuni, encouraged the nurses to be proactive in the training and to ensure that they implement the skills that they will have get from China.
All of us here are aware of the gloomy and unacceptable maternal and child health indicators that we have as a country. And I want to believe we all have the desire to change that image. And this is a huge opportunity that has been presented for that change to be made. Immunization, maternal and child health, they are very critical. They are indicators of development of any country. So if we want to move forward, it means our mothers have to be healthy, and our infants particularly, if it puts them in a better state. Immunization, we know there are still vaccine, children are still dying from vaccine preventable diseases. So I want to believe that with the knowledge and skills that will be gained, when you come back, you will help in improving the immunization service delivery.
Presenting the air ticket to the nurses, Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Wui, said the ministry requires highly skilled personnel in executing their duties. According to him, the nurses should provide services to the provinces and not limit themselves to Freetown. They should be ready to work anywhere in the country and be an example to their colleagues. Dr. Wui encouraged the participants to be confident in the cause.
The country has done quite well with regards to immunization levels, but in the peripheral, in the let me say the boundary districts like Kabbalah, like Cambia or Puja, we tend to lose large numbers. The last time we had an outbreak which was controlled within a very short period of time of measles, an outbreak of measles at the Kabbalah end, a place called Masado in Falabad district. If there were no personnel of your level, of your skills, of your exposure, the whole country would be exposed to that.
Speaking on behalf of her colleague nurses, Regional Kumbalantana thanked the government of Sierra Leone through the Ministry of Health and Sanitation for giving them the opportunity to acquire more knowledge in China. Esther Samura reporting for SLBC TV.
Bama Memorial Methodist Church has celebrated the 60th anniversary Thanksgiving service of the church in a service held at the church edifice with the theme, God has brought us thus far. The church, which started as home sale 60 years ago, can now boast of hundreds of worshippers. Francis Bernard was part of the ceremony.
The missionary work of the Wesleyan Methodist Church in Sierra Leone started in 1792 at the request of converted settlers from Nova Scotia who, on arrival in the country, had formed themselves into religious classes. A few people served as local preachers and class leaders. Personnel from the Methodist Church in Britain and Ireland developed the church in the provinces. The church was part of the British Conference and became autonomous in 1967. For the Bama Memorial Methodist Church, it started as a home cell in 1957 in a compound known as Mediad in Bluefields. This church, which was named after Reverend W.T. Bama, a missionary from Northern Ireland, changed 3 venues before it was finally moved to its current location at John Street. After a series of challenges, the church was finally able to get a good footing as members engaged in fundraising activities to build the church to its current status. This Thanksgiving service, therefore, is a way of giving gratitude to God on the theme, The Lord has brought us thus far, as the church clocks 60. Reverend Professor Edwin Momo, in his sermon, called on congregation to be steadfast in whatever their hand findeth their hands to do.
If you have been so much depressed in your workplace and thinking that everything has been lost, God is going to change that position for you. He is able and abundantly able to do much more than you can ask of Him. If He did it for me, if He did it for the Israelites, He will do it for you. Because you have been called by Him and by His name, and that you are His son and His daughter.
According to him, it is because of steadfastness that the membership has been able to build the
We are dedicated. Are they not wonderful? Are they not wonderful? Put your hands together for them.
These appointees are members and friends of Bama Methodist Church and were dedicated during this service. Minister in charge Reverend Alpheus Kuruma admonished these appointees to work in the interest of the country. The cutting of the 60th anniversary cake climaxed the ceremony.
The Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, has held a one-day consultation with MDs, civil societies and NGOs on the preparation of Sierra Leone's new National Development Plan. Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Nabila Tunis, said they want to see a plan that reflects the views of the people in the country. This session was held at the Miata Conference Hall in Freetown. Joseph Toure filed in this report.
Failing to plan is planning to fail, as people usually say. This over the years has been one of the causes that hinder countries in the sub-region from economic development. It is from this backdrop that the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development has embarked on a nationwide consultation. According to the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Nabila Tunis, this planning process will transform the country for generations. She noted that though the process is difficult, they will ensure that every part of the country participates in the process, as it aims to giving power back to the people. The minister registered that the process will also take a national and collective approach. She called on the participants to make meaningful contributions into the process as it is a Sierra Leonean owned. Updating participants on the entire process, the director at the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development disclosed that they have reviewed recent documents of the government and have learned from them to avoid mistakes of the past government. He noted that they will take the consultation process from district to district because they have realized that priorities of the people vary from one district to another. Mr. Kibe highlighted that the planned process focuses on eight clusters, and these include education and development, human development, transforming the economy, governance for accountability, infrastructure, and economic competitiveness.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Nabila Tunis, and her deputy have also met with the Sierra Leone Labour Congress at the Labour Congress Hall in Freetown. According to the minister, the update was about the National Development Plan for Sierra Leone, which is the Poverty Reduction Strategy Paper 4, as the current plan to replace the Agenda for Prosperity will roll out in December 2018. Frances Bernard has the story.
Reduction Strategy Paper 4, which was launched in July this year, is the document that will replace the Agenda for Prosperity, which will end in December this year. It will focus on 8 policy clusters which have been conceived to form the next development plan of the country. These clusters were derived from the background research drawn from progress made, lessons and challenges related to the Agenda for Prosperity. It is against this background that the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development has started this engagement with stakeholders. According to the Deputy Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Dr. Robert Chakanda, the meeting was to update the membership of the Union about the government's National Development Plan, which focuses on 8 development plans in the next coming years. Dr. Chakanda said the meeting is in line with effective consultations with line ministries, departments, agencies and development partners.
This meeting is about the National Development Plan that we are developing at the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. It's a very important document, and we know it is going to be our benchmark. It's also going to be our roadmap for development programs of this country. So this is why we came to the Congress. The Congress is a very huge organization. I mean, it's for the large number of people in this country. So that's why we use it as an entry point for our strategic.
Dr. Chakana pleaded with all to embrace the implementation of the PRSP4. President of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, Jennings Wright, said this is the first time his organization is being engaged in mapping out the way forward for the development of the country. He therefore said they will continue to engage their members to come forward with a position paper. Mr. Wright said he will want to see a well-organized document that will stand the test of time, irrespective of politics.
I would like to see a document that will stand the test of time. I would like to see a document that will take on board the needs of us as Sierra Leoneans, so that the document can be usable at any time. Not necessary that government will have all the money to start and complete. But if we cover 3, 4, 5 aspects, then later when we have money, they can cover the other aspects.
In another engagement, the Deputy Ministers of Finance and Planning and Economic Development met with civil society organizations, non-state actors and other development partners in the conference room of the Ministry of Finance at George Street in Freetown. This engagement is part of their continued engagement with stakeholders in order to popularize the PRSP4 documents. Representatives from different organizations also contributed to the discussions. For SLBC News, Frances Bernard reporting.
It's now time for entertainment news. The Leading Stars film production is a moving production that has been in existence for the past 5 years. The founder and director of the production, Alpha Jallo, and his crew came to our broadcasting house in connection of the production's new movie to be released titled Free Education. Our entertainment producer, Mohammed Kimilan Bangura, compiled these reports.
The Leading Stars film production is a movie production that has been in existence for the past 5 years. The founder and director of the production, Alpha Jallo, said the filming production has released about 4 movies since 2013, like Deadly Passion, Not Freddy Partner, which was released to sensitize the public on the dangers of Ebola, and Patiwala, which was released during the elections. Alpha said for the past 10 years he has been making movies. He said the passion for making movie came to him like a miracle, as nobody taught him how to write or produce a movie. He said he got his idea through dreams and decided to make them a reality by buying a camera and shooting movies. Alpha Jallo came to Broadcasting House along with his assistant director, Usman Aruna, aka Nego J, and his coordinator, Harrison Kombakaba, to explain the release of their new movie titled Free Education in support of the president's vision for a free education in the country. But what is so special about this movie?
One, if any
parent watch this movie, he will understand that this free education is not for the parent or any elderly person who is working and want to stop the work and then go to school. If you don't allow your kids to attend this education, your kid will end up bad. Like the boys, they will go out in the street and the girls will carry their bags around the street, just like that.
for just all bag and go on the street.
One of the cast in the movie, Margaret M. Fofana, said she knew nothing about acting and had never been to school. Because she supported the president's idea of free education, she gave all her time to the crew to shoot the movie. She said her role in the movie portrays an illiterate housewife who completely misunderstands the concept of free education.
But
we will find out that most of our sisters will go to the provinces and adopt a kid, with a promise to their parents that they will send the kids to school in the city, and at the end they will never attend any school.
Right now I go to school.
I don't count if you I don't pull another. We go in school where go put them. I don't count they say right now free education. Mother don't put some point blank say free education. And me I don't decide for go school.
Alpha Jallo said the movie will be released on Saturday and promised the general public to grab a copy, as it is not only a comedy but also teaches parents how to make use of the free education concept. What are the future plans for the leading stars film production?
I want to promise me people out.
I want to promise our fans out there that after this movie, the next movie that we produce will definitely be a hit more than any other movies that we've released.
Man, it go past all the movie the way we don't pull.
My name is Sento Kuruma.
Nene Adakuruma is a Sierra Leonean painter, TV host and singer based in China. About 5 years ago, Ada formed a foundation called Queen Nak Foundation to help the less privileged people. Queen Nak, as she is popularly called, has decided to embark on a campaign against domestic violence. Queen Nak recently visited the First Lady of Sierra Leone, Mrs. Fatima Jabibio, to introduce herself and her project to her. Queen Nak expressed how happy she was in meeting the First Lady, whom she considered as a woman of substance and a mother of the nation. She spoke of a structure she is putting up at the Newton area to help children of the community go to school and also support the president's agenda in making the free education a reality. Later on Thursday, Nene Adayang donated 40 million leones to the First Lady to help support her project. The First Lady expressed her thanks and appreciation and promised to support her project. She advised her to make sure she concentrates on her project and promised to use the money for intended purpose, as the fight against domestic violence and girls' rights should be a must.
I know you're able to live this life without you.
That was entertainment news with Mohammed Kimilan Bangura. To end the news, the main points again. President Julius Maada Bio has called on appointees to deliver on the promises of the New Direction agenda during a Thanksgiving service at the King Memorial United Methodist Church, Regent Road in Freetown. Bama Memorial Methodist Church has celebrated its 60th anniversary Thanksgiving service. And residents of Mora Town community have raised concern over the poor condition of the main road in the community which links Aberdeen and Wilkinson Road. That's all in this edition of News Hour. On behalf of my news editor Asmiwa, thanks for your company, and I am Ibrahim Samura. Continue viewing the SLBC.